I started as well. Had to answer that for a second. If anybody wants to be able to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, Amazon wishlist, and P.O. Box in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for doing that and supporting this channel through it. Thank you for purchasing the other services you purchase as well. You can find descriptions, prices, and the services I offer in the description box below, as well as ways to contact me. Thank you guys too for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Everything you do to support my channel really supports me and the work that I'm doing, and it helps out more than you guys know. So thank you for that. And let's get started with our reading today. La 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 la. La 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 la. If I could get this bag open. So, let's see. This week has been all kinds of crazy. All kinds of fluctuating energies and different things going on. Let's see what we got. Peaceful sleep. So one of the most important things that you're going to want to remember to give to yourself at this time is peaceful sleep. If you're having trouble with sleep, one of the best things that I've found to do is to picture black. And if your mind starts wandering away again, call it back to the black and just picture black and allow yourself to relax. Take a few deep breaths, and as you release them, allow your body to relax more and more, just like if you were going to meditate. Take a deep breath in and out. And as you let that breath out, feel each one of your muscles slowly relaxing and go through your body doing that. It definitely helps you to be able to get better sleep. It helps you be able to fall asleep quicker. And personally, I feel like sleep longer as well. There could be something in your dreams that is trying to call to you or is trying to alert you to something in your daily life as well. You could also be doing a lot of astral traveling in your dreams. I do a lot of astral traveling in my dreams, and I do a lot of healing when I'm sleeping, which is weird, but I've been a natural lucid dreamer since I was very little. And it wasn't always the funnest thing in the world, because when you don't know what it is, it's not the funnest thing in the world, especially when it used to... Hi, Samya. Nice to see you today. I used to have dreams where I'd fall asleep. And it started with one when I was 15, 16 years old. I was sleeping in my mom's room that night because my mom was working 3 days on, 3 days off, and she was working 24-hour shifts. And so I was sleeping in her room that night, and she kept her room pitch black. And when I fell asleep, there was this ball of light that was coming at me. And it was a cat. In my mind, it was a cat. It wasn't a cat. It didn't look like a cat. It was a ball of electricity is what it was. But it was a cat, according to me. And so I reached out to touch this cat that's floating towards me. And the moment I touched it, electricity went through my entire body. And all of a sudden, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. I couldn't wake up. And if I did wake up, I would be right back in the beginning of the dream again, starting it all over kind of thing. And so I did that for years. I finally figured out how to stop that, because it had a lot to do with my anxiety. And instead of actually working through my anxiety, I was repressing my anxiety. And so my anxiety was coming out as I was sleeping. At least that's what I figured it was anyway. And so one night when I fell asleep and I had that happen, instead of getting afraid when that happened, I just completely surrendered and let go. And when I let go, out of body experience, I floated up out of my body. And then there was this little like floating sticker looking thing, because it was 2D, up in the corner of the room. and it had like, I don't know, there was like Buddha and then something next to him and on both sides. It wasn't actually Buddha, but it kind of resembled him. There was three figures basically, and they were lit up with bright yellow white light like all the way around them, and it was coming off of it and out and lighting up the entire room. And so I floated up out of my body and passed that out the door, down the stairs, and around the corner. And as I came around the corner and turned around completely, because our stairs came down and then you turn back around towards the bedroom basically, and that was where the kitchen and living room were. And there was balloons floating, and there was sunlight streaming through the window, and it was like happy and peaceful and calm. And I've had a few of those dreams where I couldn't breathe, move, speak, or wake up since then, but not many. And what made them even scarier, that was going on for about 10 years. What made them even scarier was I was not only not able to breathe inside my dream, I was not able to breathe in real life, because I actually had my ex tell me that when I was doing that, I was hyperventilating in real life and I actually couldn't breathe. So he worked graveyards, and it's like, so I could just die in my sleep. Peace. Earth Angel 1188. The alignment that you are making in your life right now to be a beacon of hope, light, joy, love, and life for others around you, it's aligning you with your soul purpose and your path. And the hard work that you are putting in to your ideas that you're having at this time. And I feel like the more sleep you get, the more ideas you're going to be having. There's going to be a lot of ideas coming to you in your dreams, I feel like, but also in general, that extra sleep is going to help you to be able to figure out and process the problems that you're having in your day-to-day life a lot better. My ex-husband actually made a very good point at one time too. Another thing that helps with that insomnia is asking yourself, what am I going to be able to figure out right now by staying awake all night and constantly thinking about everything I have going on that I couldn't figure out much better if I got a good night's sleep and then woke up with a fresh mind in the morning? The toxicity of our city. The toxicity of our city, of our city. You, what do you own the world? How do you own disorder, disorder? Now, somewhere between the sacred silence is we. Disorder, disorder, disorder. So, there has definitely been a lot that has caused you pain throughout your time. There have been people that have hurt you in ways. There have been a lot of things that have happened. But I feel like there is a lot of peace coming into your life. There's a lot of peace coming into your connections as well. Make sure that you watch out for things that you may be doing to try to make you feel better at this time as well. Somebody may actually be shopping for a new baby. P-A-R-T. Why? Because I gotta. So there's definitely something where the scales of justice are being balanced in some sort of way. You may be feeling locked up in some sort of belief system. You could even be feeling like you've been locked up in some sort of karmic cycles since birth. And you are now freeing yourself from these cycles. And a lot of what is causing that to take place is you being able to free your heart. I was talking to somebody about that this morning, that when your heart is heavy, it weighs down on you. It drags you down right along with it. Follow me, Uncle Cracker. They have some way of explaining it in just about every religion that you have. When it comes to Christian religion, they speak of forgiveness. They speak of those with no sin cast the first stone. They talk about loving your enemies as you would love yourself, turning the other cheek. blah, 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 blah. Of course, then they also talk about burning down whole cities because those are sinners, but yet we're all sinners. So yeah, the contradictions there, crazy. But there's also the Egyptian god of the underworld where you meet up with him and he weighs your heart against a feather. And if your heart weighs more than the feather, which means if your heart is burdened with hate, if your heart is burdened with unforgiveness, if it's burdened with all that poison that stacks up inside of it because of the things that people have done around you, then you are going to be in serious trouble. Whereas if you're able to free yourself of those things, you will find bliss and happiness. Your perspective of the world around you will shift and change as well. You could definitely have been dealing with somebody at some point in time who may have had multiple partners. Somebody that may have been married as well, or you may have been. There's going to be an ending to situations like this. There's going to be a transformation that's going to be going on. And if somebody did not tell you about their marriage or about their partnership or about the other person that they had in their life, there is definitely going to be some sort of karmic or some sort of karma going on that this person is going to have to go through and face. Somebody may also be having a baby at this time. Somebody might actually even be having a baby while they are locked up for some of you as well, or while they're unable to be near. There's definitely been a lot of confusion, especially in your love life for a while at this point. There's been a lot of things that have been really hard to figure out. You may have been questioning where you should be going, what you should be doing, whether or not things are worth it. Some of you could have been breaking out of extremely abusive connections or marriages as well. Ones with financial abuse or ones with inequality in the connection where your power was kind of stripped away and the other person had all the power in some sort of way, whether that be financially or whether that be with the choice of what you guys do, where you go, who you're friends with, whether or not you're allowed to do certain things. All kinds of stuff like that could definitely be a part of that. By the way, I am extremely excited today because I have a brand new deck of tarot cards. I decided to buy myself a brand new deck of tarot cards, and they are from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series. So I am extremely excited about those ones. That is definitely one of my more favorite series that I've watched over the years. Sorry, guys. Ugh. Okay. Ha. Anyway, there could definitely have been a lot of confusion in dealing with a lot of the things that you have dealt with. There could have been a lot of anger directed at you as well, possibly jealousy directed at you. There could have been a lot of people who had a lot of lower vibrational energy or entities that were attached to them that you have dealt with. And this could have caused a lot of problems in your life. It could have even caused you to feel like in some way there was something wrong with you. Because if there wasn't, why would you continually attract people like this, right? I'm going to sit this down just for a second, guys. Sorry. Because you might have been thinking, if there wasn't something wrong with me, why would I continually be attracting things like this or people like this or whatever the case may be? But you're coming to peace and coming to terms with the idea that these are situations that needed to be a part of your life. These are situations that cause transformations for you. There may have even been something in your childhood as well that has been dramatically healed by the connections that you have had with these certain people. You're welcome, Caroline. Thank you for being here, sweetheart. There could be a death in the near future as well. This could be a death of somebody that you've known for most of your life. And this death may cause a massive transformation for you too. For some of you, you are going to be coming into a lot of financial stability. Enough to be able to go on a vacation. Maybe even enough to be able to purchase the things that you want to purchase or do the things that you want to do. You may have a lot of people from the past that are getting a hold of you and contacting you, reaching out. People that hurt you very severely, caused you a lot of pain, made you feel like in some way you weren't worthy or you weren't acceptable or good enough. And when they do come back, letting them down gently, understanding the position of power that you have and the effect that your words are going to have on these situations or these people is going to be very important. Not accruing your own karma with the way that you handle this situation, but remembering that those people were not there when you were going through your hardest time periods. Those people didn't think that you were worth it when you were down and out, when you had problems of your own. He who wants the rose must respect the thorns. And you may have had somebody more recently that has been there through a lot of the things that you have gone through, who has accepted you exactly as you are, while you have had nothing, who believed in you to be something more. And so these people coming back is going to be a very big temptation for you, because at one point in time, you loved them very immensely and you really wanted to create something beautiful with each other. But this person wasn't working on creating something beautiful with you. This person was working on not being grateful for what they had right in front of them and not seeing the potential in anything. Everybody says, oh, don't go after where you see potential in a relationship. Why would you go after anything that didn't have potential? 44 is on the clock, or on the screen. Why would you go after anything that did not have potential? That's a good question. If it doesn't have potential, you wouldn't even be looking at it. Nothing is going to be perfect. And a lot of times, nothing ends up living up to those expectations. But if you don't look at the person that you're with and see potential in them, you should not be with that person, especially since you are going to hurt that person because you don't see them as anything. Yeah, sure, you should love them exactly as they are in this moment. Of course, I get that. But no, they won't always be that person that's standing in front of you. They are going to shift. They are going to change. They're going to go through growth. They're going to have different things come up that trigger them into being a different person. At the core, they're still going to be the same person. I feel like everybody's imagination is starting to break free as well. I feel like your mind might have been locked up and trapped in some sort of way. When we're children, we believe in it. We believe in things so deeply. We're able to really imagine things. We're able to just look at the world in such a different way. As we grow up, we are told not to believe in those things. We are told that those things aren't real. We are told that our dreams can't come true. We're told that we need to wake up because you need to make money. We're told all kinds of things that kills that imagination, that kills that innocence and purity of the way that we envision the world around us and see it. And I feel like a lot of you are getting back to those roots, the original way that you saw this world, the belief system you had as a child, where your mind was more free, where you were more free in general. I feel like you are breaking out of this self-imposed prison and this world-imposed prison that's been going on in your mind. And we also have the song, follow me, everything is alright. I'll be the one to tuck you in at night. And if you wanna leave, I can guarantee you won't find nobody else like me. You don't know how you met me, you don't know why you can't turn around and say goodbye. All you know is when I'm with you, I make you free and swim through your veins like a fish in the sea. I'm singing. Yeah, I actually made a whole song or a whole dance routine for that when I was younger. That was one of my favorite songs when I was younger. You're finding peace with walking away from things that aren't serving you. You're also finding peace with telling people that, you know what? I deserve more. I can't I can't give you money, I can't give you the sky. You're better off if you don't ask why. You're not necessarily asking for money or asking for the sky. You're not necessarily asking for them to give you everything. But you are wanting more than what you have been receiving in the past. You are wanting commitment from somebody. You are wanting somebody who wants to be with you as much as you want to be with them. You're not wanting to be with people anymore that are just with you as a means to an end. And maybe at that point in time, you were wanting to be with that. Maybe that's the level of commitment you had at that time too. Maybe that's the level of attention you had to give to the situation. Even if we don't have another partner, there are other third parties that we can have. Whether it be work and working on our goals, working on our money, working on our stability, whatever it may be that makes you feel like you don't have enough time to give and dedication to give to a full-on partnership, will start attracting people who don't have that as well to give to you. And so you may be starting to notice some of your own parts in the way that things have played out, and realizing that when you're willing to give more of a commitment yourself, you're going to attract in people who are willing to give more of a commitment to you as well. You're also going to be making peace, I feel like, in a lot of these connections from your past, in a way that these situations may end up being connections. They may end up being connections in the future that are going to be able to help you in some sort of way as well. Sorry, guys. I was having to answer a message. Friend was wondering what I was doing. We haven't known each other for a super long time yet, so he doesn't know my Thursday schedule. Hi, ML. Nice to see you. So, let's get some of these new cards. I am really excited about this new deck, guys. So, I did go through these when I got them yesterday, too. They're pretty awesome. I really enjoy these cards. It's the Buffy the Vampire Slayer deck. And so, we got the Fool, which is actually Xander at the beginning, like Xander before he has really faced a whole lot of anything or seen a whole lot of anything or had to deal with a whole lot. Ready to take on anything in the world, you know? And by the last season, everyone ends up ganging up on Buffy because they're upset at her because of all the pain and damage and hurt that they've gone through. I mean, they were so ready to go do all these things in the beginning. I know, I'm so excited about them. I went ahead and grabbed them off my wish list because I had a little bit extra this last week, and I was like, I am going to get me a new deck of cards because these ones were just getting ready to come out. They actually just came out yesterday, and so, or day before yesterday. They were supposed to get here day before yesterday too, but they didn't. Amazon was a little bit late. So this is like the happy version of Xander before anything has happened that has caused him pain or hurt or heartache. And I feel like a lot of us are getting back to that energy, even after everything that we have gone through. We're getting back to that energy, but we're getting back to that energy with more wisdom, with more knowledge, with more understanding than we had in the past. And since we're getting back to that energy, we're more able to be open and receptive to love coming in as well, and to love being a real thing. We're able to imagine the beauty of it and able to feel the beauty of it more. That is, in the Queen of Cups there, that is Anyanka's friend, the other vengeance demon. And what just came to mind was when Anya wanted to be able to take back what she had done at that frat party after Xander ran out on their marriage, or on their wedding. She ended up killing an entire frat group of people, and she wanted to be able to take it back. And there has to be a life sacrificed of a vengeance demon in order to make that happen. And she told him, I don't care, take my life, because I want these people to be brought back to life. And I want this to be something that never happened. There's a price for magic. When she did that, she didn't realize that he wasn't going to take her life, but he was going to take that of her friends. So instead of taking her life to turn back time and make what she did go away, he took the life of her best friend, the only one she really even had at that point. And at that point in time, she was doing a lot of self-sabotaging. She was destroying every connection in her life, all because she had lost out on that one love connection. All because of the pain and the hurt inside of her. And I feel like a lot of us have done some things in the past because of the pain or the hurt that was inside of us. And at the time, we really didn't even see it. We were so busy going, how could somebody hurt us that way? How could people do the things that they did to us? And all the while we were hurting and in that pain and questioning it and constantly upset over it, we were hurting people around us and didn't even know it. When you carry around that non-forgiveness in your heart, when you carry around that angry energy, that bitter energy, or that jealous energy, the pain and the hurt, it spreads to the people around you. When they say hurt people, they don't just mean other hurt people. They mean us too. When we are hurt, we end up hurting people. And I feel like at this point, there's a lot of realizations of some of the damage that has been done as we have been in that pain. But we're also learning how to forgive not only other people, but ourselves as well. And to realize that we are also human. It's not just other people that are human. We are human. And as humans, we sometimes hurt those people that we love. And if we can forgive others, then we can also be forgiven. We can be forgiven by ourselves, and we can be forgiven by the people in our lives. So it's time to let go of pride too, and to allow these situations to be healed. It's time to apologize where you need to admit where you've gone wrong, and to do the necessary steps that are required to make things right again. Boy, the universe is making things extremely difficult at points this morning. I'm going to sit this down for one more second again, guys. Sorry. So, let's see. We have welcome to Sunnydale. Enjoy your stay. A lot of us, 44 is on the screen again. A lot of us are in places We are purposefully, by the universe, positioned in places where there is a lot of darkness. Buffy was literally pushed into being in Sunnydale by the universe. The universe orchestrated it. The Watchers probably had something to do with it as well. And shit, she didn't even know that they existed for a long time, but they were watching her. She was positioned on the Hellmouth, quite literally, on a place that spawns evil. That way she could be in that place to be able to counter or balance it, to be able to counter what's going on in that space. Established in 1909. Population 38,500. So we have the Seven of Scythes as well. And you know what? I had my book sitting right here when I started this. And then it disappeared. I don't remember what the scythes are. So, Seven of Scythes. Well, 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 if it isn't the embodiment of the faithful degenerate, son of chaos, like Ethan Rain, the Seven of Scythe sweeps into your reading as an omen of betrayal, fraud, deception. So Seven of Swords. If you are considering engaging in unethical behavior, just know that you are likely to be discovered. If you find yourself wondering whether you're on the receiving end of shenanigans, this card confirms it. Reversed, since I don't do the reversed ones generally, no magician can create an illusion quite as powerful as a human brain tricking itself. You have been ignoring facts and dismissing evidence, and the weight of this self-delusion is pulling you down. Get this energy out of your life by confronting what you have been avoiding. Face it and forget it. And that actually seems like that's what goes with what we're talking about a lot more. Especially since it's sitting right next to the Town of Darkness, sitting on the Hellmouth. There's a lot of times where we can really create a lot of messed up things in our life, like we were just talking about with the self-sabotaging. That self-sabotaging can just be crazy with the level it comes in at. I had somebody at one point that I was seeing for a very short time, and they were talking about some of the self-sabotaging that they had done in connections to be able to end those connections. And when he chose to end the connection, and he was apologizing, and like apologizing profusely, feeling really guilty and bad about it, and I was like, you know what? Don't feel so bad for speaking your truth. I was like, and at least you didn't self-sabotage this the way that you have in some of the cases in the past. You did pretty damn good if you ask me. 3333 was just on the clock. You did pretty good if you ask me. You've learned a lot, apparently, about what you don't want to be doing. Of course, a couple weeks later, he did self-sabotage in a really messed up way. But still not as bad as some of the cases he had mentioned in the past before that. We can sabotage ourselves worse than anybody else could sabotage us. Right now, in front of you, you have the ability to create a very solid foundation in certain situations in your life. But it is going to require you to open your heart, to be able to connect intimately with people, to be able to release that fear and to be able to take that leap of faith like you have never had anything bad happen. We also got the Eight of Scythes. The Eight of Scythes has the doctor who got captured by her own creation. She got captured by her own creation. Think about that for a second. Be careful what you're creating, because if you got captured by your own creation, where would you be at? If people refer to you as the evil bitch monster of death, it might be a good time to rethink your worldview. An appearance from the Eight of Scythes means that you have been holding on to outdated beliefs and overly restrictive rules, and you have put yourself into a prison made of your own thoughts. Consider purging the opinions and limitations holding you back and freeing yourself from them. A therapy session after the purge. I don't know if anybody on here watches Stanzy at all. She does a lot of shorts. I really enjoy her shorts. She has one that is about therapy session after the purge, where everybody has done really fucked up things to each other, and they're all coming clean about it, and they're all talking about it and discussing it. And I feel like a lot of times we limit ourselves in our mind and in our thoughts from being able to create peace in situations because we want to hold on to those grudges, or because we don't want to look in the mirror and notice where we might have misstepped too. So it might be a good time to really address the places that you have fallen short, as well as the people around you. So, here as well. And let's see what the Four of Scythes has to say. The Four of Scythes finds you happily vacationing in the land of not coping, taking a break from dealing with things. You have recently gone through an icky ordeal, and you may be longing for solitude and a time for rest. Give your brain a break. Go be alone and quiet in a room with a chair and a fireplace and a tea cozy. Doesn't matter if you don't know what one is. So, and also, when it comes to your connections around you, don't just ghost out on them or disappear on them. Think about how it made you feel when others did that. But that could also hold you back from taking that time you need. Don't let that hold you back from taking that time you need. But as I told a friend of mine yesterday, I was like, just a forewarning, I'm probably going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb for a few days because I just need some time for me. I was like, but at least I'm letting people know about it, and I'm not just disappearing on them. But I do need some time for me. So make sure that you let the people you love and care about know that, hey, I'm not going to be answering my phone for a few days. I'm fine. I just got to take care of me and my stuff. And that is self-love. Taking that time out for you when you need that time for you is something that's going to bring in so many blessings. It's going to help you to be able to find that calm inside of yourself, that peace inside of yourself. It's also going to help you to be able to detach from the energy of others as well. It's going to allow you to be able to see where you might be being manipulated or where you might be giving your power away in places that you could take your power back and feel much stronger. So it's time to really be very open to what's going on around you. And also to be able to be okay with yourself being human. Be okay with yourself needing that time and that space and giving to you for a change. Allow yourself to have that break that you need so desperately, that your body is crying out for at this time. I'm going to go ahead and read the Queen of Scythes too, because I was wondering what it actually says about her. An expert in lost languages, impressive techno-pagan, occult maven, there is nothing Jenny Calendar's mind cannot accomplish. I am on the wrong one. That's the Queen of Scythes. I was like, wait a second, Jenny Calendar, that's the teacher. La 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 la. I really did want to see what it said about her though, because I don't generally read them a lot when I get a new deck, but really? Okay, there we go. All right. Even as a demon, Halfric was deeply attuned to the suffering, vulnerability, and sorrow of humanity. Under the influences of the Queen of Chalices, you may find yourself helping others, acting as a trusted advisor as they work through their turmoil. Although this sensitivity comes naturally, do not underestimate your own strength. Follow your intuition and value your emotional responses. They will guide you when logic fails. And also remember that as much as you can heal people with your words and your actions, you can also cause damage with them. When it comes to an emotionally intelligent person, a really emotionally intelligent person can really affect things mind-wise in the lives of others, can really get inside the mind of others in a lot of ways, and can cause a lot of different things to be happening. So you really have to be careful with what energy you're in. And if you're not taking that time to take care of you, then you're not going to be taking care of others to the best of your abilities either. And as much as you might be sabotaging yourself or creating your own prison, you might actually be helping others to create prisons in their life too, until you can step outside of that view that you have going on. I feel like there's definitely a fair amount of martyr energy that you may be clearing out for a lot of people watching today as well. A lot of that, I have to be there to do everything and take care of everything or no one will kind of thing. But you're not responsible for everything in the world around you. You have the Ace of Coins, the Five of Cups, the King of Coins, and the Ten of Cups. So, because of what has happened in the past, the hurt, the pain, the trauma, the despair of the past that you have gone through, you may not be noticing the beauty of the connections that are right in front of you. You may not be noticing the solid, stable, strong offer of commitment that somebody may be giving to you, the leap of faith that somebody is jumping into, like blindly jumping into, like you have done in the past with other people that were focused on their pain, with other people that were hurting, with other people that were in despair or ashamed or feeling lost and alone. You might have jumped in there and were willing to take this gigantic leap of faith in the past. But at this time, you may be holding yourself back from that leap of faith with somebody who's actually taking that same leap of faith that you took in the past. When we have a hard time letting go or forgiving people for what they've done, a lot of times we could find ourselves in their shoes. And right now, you are in the shoes of the people that you have taken a leap of faith with in the past who didn't take that leap of faith with you because they were too stuck inside their mind. Do you want to continue to be stuck inside your mind, or do you want to take that leap of faith yourself and end up with the possibility of immense amounts of happiness in your life? It's time to raise your vibes. It's time to get into that happy, joyful, expressive, loving, kind, caring, and compassionate energy again. That energy of being open and receptive to love again. And the best way that you're going to be able to do that is by pulling yourself away from everyone and everything for a little bit and just taking care of you, putting into you, loving you, taking time to examine your emotions about the past, your feelings about the past, why you might be feeling them, and how you can just allow those things to be let go of. Letting yourself know that things played out the way that they were meant to play out. And just because it didn't work out in that situation doesn't mean it's never going to work out. It just means that that situation was not a situation it was meant to work out in. I also feel like there's a lot of you that could have a chance to be paid for the work that you do spiritually as well. Paid for the advice that you give. You may have a lot of financial opportunities that are trying to come in for you as well. Financial opportunities that are going to give you the chance to be able to be this stable, solid provider, protector. They're going to allow you to be able to make a difference in the world around you and an impact in the world around you with money. But there could be things from the past that are holding you back from that too. You could have dealt with, like I was talking about at the beginning of this reading today, you could have dealt with financial abuse. You could have dealt with people who used their money in not so good ways. It could have given you a view of money being evil in some sort of way, but money is not necessarily evil. It's what you do with it that matters most. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make money. Not one thing wrong with wanting to make money, with needing to make money, with having money, because this whole world revolves around money. It's one of the biggest energy exchanges that there is in this world. And there is nothing wrong with wanting to have some of it so that you can make those energy exchanges too. Some people give to the world with time and energy to get what they need or want in life. And some people give to the world with money to get what they need and want in life. And it frees up your time and your energy for other things that are important to you or your family as well. So some of you may actually be realizing that you are going to be more prosperous when you stop working yourself to the bone for nothing. When you start putting your foot down and deciding that you are worth more, and more is going to come to you. I can understand that. And you know what? At one point in time, you might have thought that about somebody who told you that as well. Or I might have. Because at that point in time, we may not have been ready to hear those things, to believe in those things, or to free ourselves from that viewpoint too. And it's not that we care only about money. Of course we don't care only about money. But money is something that is important in this world. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to have some of it. Although we can work and work and work and work ourselves to the bone and work ourselves to death and never have anything. Work smarter and not harder is the thing that's coming to my mind right now. My dad used to say that a lot when I was younger. Work smarter, not harder. Danielle, of course, he was a very big hustler. He was a dealer most of his life as far as like cards go and stuff like that. So he worked in casinos a lot. He was definitely a hustler. Yeah, it ain't over for me. No, it ain't over for me. Keep flowing, flowing, flowing. It can bring freedom from bad situations. Exactly. Well, and say I had $1 million right now. First off, I could invest some things so that I could know that my future is set and I don't got to worry about where I'm going to live when I'm older. I don't got to worry about whether or not my kids are going to be able to go to college when it comes to my town that I live in and some of the places that are here that are resources for other children who may be growing up in the same poverty that I grew up in, like the library. If I had that kind of money, I'd be able to go and buy all kinds of art supplies to take down to that library. I would be able to make donations to the recovery center and the food donations that they have for people around here. I'd be able to leave things in the blessings boxes for other people like me who've had to go there to find things to take care of themselves when they're down and out. I would be able to do a lot of things that I wish that I could affect, impact, change, and make happen now. I would be able to do if I had that kind of money. So it may not be the most important thing in the world, but there are a lot of things that money can do. And it may not be able to buy happiness, and if you focus solely on that and none of the connections around you, you're going to find yourself completely alone with money, which is not necessarily the funnest place on earth. So creating that balance in your life between work, friendships, hobbies, family, whatever you have, is going to be something that's going to be very beneficial too. But remembering that Even if it's not the most important thing in the world, it is still something that is important, that you need to be able to pay your bills, that you need to be able to eat, that you need to be able to take care of the people in your life. Peacekeeper. She-wolf. Let go of the need to be right and unleash the wild within. You could be suppressing a lot of yourself, a lot of who you are. You may even be denying a lot of the things that you do want in life because you don't want to feel like you're shallow. You don't want to appear shallow. Or you don't want to appear like you're caring about things that are not important, or whatever the case may be. But you know what? There's a lot of things that can make you feel a lot better throughout your life when you do them for yourself. There could also be situations as well where you are keeping too tight of a reign of control over yourself and what you're doing, instead of just allowing yourself to be wild and free, allowing yourself to just be who you are at the core. You may be holding yourself back in ways because of religion or because of other people's views or opinions. You may be holding yourself back from a lot of things that you would really like to do or try, a lot of places you may want to go. You may be hiding half of yourself or keeping yourself from expressing yourself in the more bold ways that you could be, in ways that make you uniquely you. It's time to unleash that wild part of yourself inside of you that is calling to be released. It's going to bring you so much happiness and joy. It's going to raise your vibration so much to just be able to be yourself and to not feel like in some way you need to be ashamed of who that is. Because there's no reason to be ashamed of who that is. The way that you bring peace as well, the way that you bring peace is not to fight over who's right, is not to declare your beliefs and this is the way it is. The way that you create peace is by being able to express your opinions and views and being able to hear the opinions and views of others. Being able to listen as well as speak in a way that creates harmony between parties. And you can't do that when you're worried about being right, when you're worried about being validated, when you're worrying about having to defend your position, instead of feeling confident and strong in your position, educated in your position, and just being able to discuss the things, being able to release attachment to it, being able to be open-minded enough to allow yourself to consider the thought that you might actually be able to change your opinions in certain areas, if the argument was good enough on the other side anyway. So, in between messages, if anybody wants to be able to make a purchase or a donation, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, Amazon wish list in the description box below. Truly appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for doing that. All of the things that you guys do to support my channel and my work really does help me out so much. And it also helps a lot of other people out because it helps more people to be able to find the help that they need, the messages that they need when they do. It helps to make this more accessible to people as well. So thank you guys so much for the likes, shares, comments, subscribes, the purchases, the donations, everything that you do to support my channel and my work. I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you for that. Let's see what other messages the universe has to give us right now. What will next week bring you? Thank you, by the way, for the extra. Really appreciate that. So, You have dealt with many injustices, but fear not, you will be vindicated. Everything is coming out. Release the past and surrender to what is. Have faith in your God, angels, and ancestors. So, in this next week, there's going to be a lot of things that are being exposed. A lot of things that people have tried to keep hidden. A lot of things that people have tried to deny. Or a lot of areas where people have acted without integrity when it comes to you. These things are going to be being uncovered, unsealed, noticed, seen, recognized. And there's going to be some sort of karma to be paid for these things. All those lies from your lips. Now only truth drips. Guards are around you now. They are protecting you. Have faith. Let go of control. What you need will come to you through your prayers, faith, and letting go, knowing that you will be provided for. Sometimes want and need are two very different things. Make sure that you are grateful for receiving all that you need. Gratitude breeds more abundance. And once you're grateful for having all that you need, it is much more likely to have the things that you want. There could definitely be situations where you are having to separate yourself from those situations. And there could be a reason why you are afraid of that or worried about it. You may be feeling that you need these situations in some sort of way because you won't be able to take care of things without them. But what you're being told is you will be able to take care of things just fine without them because you have a whole team behind you, providing for you, protecting you, loving you, caring for you. And you may not have the most when it comes to what you're wanting, but you are definitely going to have everything that you need moving forward. Time for an ego death and a new beginning. Recognize not only where others went wrong, but where did you go wrong as well. Make your apologies with no expectations. Change your world by starting with you. Man in the Mirror, Michael Jackson. It did. So, I had to step outside for a minute to be able to cool down my phone enough. Anyway, don't forget that some of them have apologies to make too. But it's time to be the first one to drop the grudge. Sometimes pride can really get in the way. Don't worry, I've had to do some apologizing myself. At one point in time, the way I did it with my older daughter was, I was like, you know what? I am really sorry for anything that I have done that has hurt you or caused you pain. But you have done a lot too. And at some point, it would be nice if you could apologize as well. And if you haven't noticed, I've done a lot of work to make sure that I'm not doing those things that hurt you anymore as well. There is a poem on Dee's StoryTime that's called Pride Goeth Before a Fall. Might be worth checking out as well. Unhappy waters. Be happy, my love, wherever you go. A new man will come, I know. You're my friend first and foremost. I offer you up a toast. True happiness I hope you find. Please don't punish yourself in your bind. If you choose to leave me, I'll hope that it's to be happy. But if you choose to stay, I'm hoping it's for the same. So please forgive me when I feel you're worth more. Jealousy is not at my core. My heart feels your pain and sees your eyes full of rain. Stop selling yourself for your needs and have some faith and see where it leads. Know that everything will be okay if you try it another way. Take my own advice, I know I had to reap and to sow. Sometimes you don't see what's inside unless you take that ride. So, it's also, once again, talking about want and need. Want and need are two very different things, and sometimes you want something that is not very good for you. Sometimes what you really need is for that thing to be gone so that you can really understand yourself more and also how much value you have, how much potential you have. So there could definitely be some situations or things in your life that you're letting go of throughout this next week, that you're really being able to say, you know what? I love you. Regardless of whether or not you want to be with me, I love you. I love you unconditionally, which means I don't love you just because you choose to stay with me, and you don't love me just because I choose to stay with you, but that we can choose to be separate and go after something that is much more fulfilling for ourselves. And that doesn't mean we have to hate each other when we do, but hurt people hurt people. In darkness I dwelled, the fears overwhelmed. Hatred boiled hot inside. My heart was not along for the ride. I locked it up tight, too much pain to fight. It ate at me and pulled me down. In all this misery I would drown. Reborn from all this pain, washed free through cleansing rain. My heart opened up a bit more each time, through every action and every rhyme. So many hurt people were hurting me. It took some time for me to see that I was hurt too and caused some pain. I fought so hard to maintain. It was time to look in the mirror, pushed past all this pain and fear, healing what's inside myself, dusting off that inner shelf. Now I'm ready to begin once more. I am ready for an open door. So there could definitely be a lot of things that you're realizing in this next week as well, where you may actually be a lot more like your parents than you thought you were, or a lot more like the people in your life that you had around you when you were growing up, possibly even a lot more like this person that hurt you than you thought you were. And you're going to be truly atoning for those actions or those missteps that you made by taking the actions you feel are necessary to create shifts and changes within yourself that shift and change your world dramatically as well. Because once we're able to look inside that mirror and see those things, once we're able to accept our shadow side and really love ourselves regardless of that shadow side, and love the people around us regardless of their shadow side, that's when we are able to vibrate the highest. That's when we're really able to make impacts and changes on the world around us on a much larger scale. And really, I'm thinking about Lil Wayne Mirror a lot. That could definitely be a good song for you to listen to a bit more this week and absorb the lessons from it. The mirror on the wall, it may be telling you that nobody would love you as you are. But there are a lot of people that would love you as you are. You're the one who's having trouble loving you as you are. Temperance, the devil, and the Tower. Willow. Willow is so cute. She's so adorable. She's like the kindest, sweetest, most adorable person ever, you know? And she has so much light and life and beauty to add to this world. She wears her little pink fuzzy sweatshirts, and she's just, you know, nobody would ever expect that she has that inside of her. That is her dark side. But the death of her love caused her so much darkness and pain and misery and hurt and despair. It caused her this feeling of a need to get revenge, to destroy anything and everything that destroyed the love that she had. Oh, the song that's coming to mind right now, I'm under your spell. How else could it be? Anyone would notice me. It's magic, I can tell. How you set me free. Brought me out so easily. So, there could definitely be something that ended that really just tore you apart, that brought out your dark side, that caused you to step into this energy of hate, revenge, and even the people that she loved most in this world could not stop that, could not convince her that everything was going to be okay. She didn't even notice the people around her that she loved, that were standing right there the whole time, because of how hurt she was over the situation that was going on in front of her. And actually, it caused her a lot of realizations, though. She learned a lot about herself. She learned a lot about her power and how strong she really was, because she never thought that she was that powerful before then. It's amazing how much strength that dark side can add to us once we are able to have access to it, once we're able to see it, and once we're able to integrate it. Because after she came back down from that, yeah, there was a lot of mistakes she had made. There was a lot of guilt she felt. There was a lot of shame she had, but she had to work through those things. And she had to let go of those things because the power that she had inside of her was very great. With great power comes great responsibility. And she knew that. And she knew that she didn't ever want to be in that energy again, which means she can't deny that she has it in her. She can't just decide to stop using the magic she has inside of her because it's evil. It's not evil. It has the capacity of being very evil when she's in a bad energy. And when you think you're evil, that puts you in a bad energy. But when you accept the fact that you have that within you, and you also have a great amount of good within you as well, that power can be used in a good way. The extremes that you have gone through and the experiences that you've had to deal with have really affected you very greatly, and not just in a bad way. It has affected you very greatly and turned you into somebody who is going to be able to make a much bigger impact on this world. There's going to be a lot of sudden realizations that are dawning on you. This is actually the part where Buffy sacrifices herself so her sister doesn't have to die. She runs and she jumps right off of that tower. She takes that leap of faith and believes that through doing that, it will save everyone. This next week, you are going to be making a sacrifice of your pride, a sacrifice of your ego. And you're going to be taking a leap of faith to throw yourself on the altar to bring peace, to close up that portal of darkness and that void that has been opened between you and the people around you. I really do like this new deck. I am enjoying this new deck immensely. You're also going to start realizing that the people-pleasing energy that you had in the past is part of what has caused the situations that are sitting in your present view as well. And also, this feeling of being alone is what has caused a lot of it too. A lot of times we can feel alone even when we aren't. You could have went through some pretty severe circumstances. Severe circumstances that caused you to learn, that caused you to grow, that caused you to expand, and also humbled you a bit so that you could get back down to earth and realize that the people that were hurting you were being hurt by you too. So the things that you have gone through and the extremes that you have gone through happened to be able to teach you this lesson so that you could grow. As we wish for karma for others, sometimes we need to look in the mirror and realize that we're going through some of our own karma too. So, slow and steady is going to win the race, and expressing things from a truthful place and from a humble position is going to be something that is really going to make so many dramatic shifts and changes in your life and your connections. 11122 was on the clock. So this alignment that you're going through right now, and this ability to accept yourself exactly as you are and to accept others exactly as they are, is bringing peace, harmony, joy, friendship, and love back to the situations in your life so you are no longer alone. You are very welcome. Thank you so much as well. And if anybody else wants to be able to make a purchase or donate, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. Thank you guys ahead of time. Thank you as well for the likes, shares, comments, and subscribes you leave. It really does help me out, and I appreciate the support, you guys. It makes a very big difference in my life. As big a difference in my life as you guys feel I make in yours. It's amazing what you can do with just a few seconds of your time or just a bit of your abundance when it comes to making a difference in the lives around you and touching people. So, no one is perfect, but all are amazing. It is all in how we view ourselves and the world around us. So perspectives are going to be changing, shifting greatly. I might judge others harshly at points, but that is because I am self-judging as well. So there is a need to look in that mirror and understand what it is that you are judging yourself harshly on. What it is you think is a flaw that's too big to have. What it is that you feel like is a reason for why others should not love you. Notice, does that match some of the reasons that you have decided not to love people around you? Or some of the things that you have judged others harshly for? Or been overly critical with others because of? Look within to heal without, or internal to heal external. It is time to look at and acknowledge your shadow. Unconditionally knowing that we have both. Every one of us has shadow and light. In doing so, it doesn't control us anymore. And also, it takes away that ability to blame things outside of ourselves. There's a lot of people that would like to blame demons when it comes to people acting out of character. It's funny because a lot of those people are Christian and they would like to blame demons or the devil made me do it. It says right in their Bible that we all have free will. You get to choose whether or not you're doing things. Nobody made you do anything. It's all inside of yourself. What you choose to do is all inside of you. In doing so, it doesn't control us anymore because we see our triggers and what comes of them. So when you acknowledge that shadow side, you acknowledge the fact that something pushed you into that shadow side. And then you start to see how the things around you are affecting you and how you can heal some of the things that are causing you to step into that energy when you have to deal with the things around you. It also keeps other people from being able to control us when we are able to see our triggers and how those triggers affect us. We can also decide where we direct those gifts and what intentions they work towards. Every gift has a curse side. Manipulation can also be seen as charisma. One sounds awful and the other sounds good, but they're the same thing. They just have a different name because people don't call them the same thing because they don't view them as the same thing. They view them as different things. One is evil and dirty and awful, and the other one is pure and beautiful and amazing. But both are the same exact thing. Charisma, manipulation, charm. All of those things are the same thing. When you're judging others for their charming demeanor, for their ability to manipulate people, like say there's somebody who gets pulled over by the police and they're able to cry and get their way out of the ticket. And you might have some judgment over that. You might have some bias toward it. Well, what inside of yourself are you judging? What gifts are you not using in your life? Because you feel like those gifts are a bad thing. That one is a big one for me because my whole family, they have that in spades. And they can be used in good ways or bad ways. My mom, one of the favorite things she had about working as a cocktail waitress back in the day, she really enjoyed the fact that She could stand there and say whatever she wanted to those people because they were so drunk. And as long as she laughed afterwards, they thought it was the funniest joke ever. So she could stand there and call them whatever she wanted to call them, and they would laugh right along with her. She loved it. And then I wonder why I feel like it's a bad thing to have those things because of things like that. But then again, you know, she spent her life, a lot of her life, working as a cocktail waitress with everybody thinking that she was for sale just because she was cocktailing, with people deciding that her body was their property and they could touch it in any way they wanted to simply because she was a cocktail waitress. So she was supposed to serve their every need, right? Wrong. So her getting a little bit of a release through being able to say whatever she wanted to him as long as she laughed afterwards, you know, that is the smallest amount of evil she really could have put out there, considering. Then again, some evil people had a lot of charisma too. Think about Hitler. It's just classified as manipulation in those cases. When acknowledging and healing it, then it can be used in good ways for really good things. Amazing changes in this world can take place, but only if you can decide to cast away the guilt or the shame over the gifts that you have, instead of trying to hide them or deny them, instead of viewing them as curses. It reminds me too of this kid that was working at Maverick here, and he was gay, and he was really a very sweet kid. God, he was so bubbly and enjoyable. I really enjoyed that kid's company and his energy. And at the same time, his mother had forced him to go to conversion therapy twice because being gay is evil and it's a sin, and he must be transformed into straight. It didn't work, by the way, and his grandmother decided she was going to adopt him after the second time because there was no way she was letting his mother put him through that a third time. But this kid stood there telling me that he is evil. He's evil, and there's nothing he can do about it. So he might as well just be evil, right? Think about Jeffrey Dahmer for a second and the way that he chose to live his life and the evil things that he done. You really don't think that he did those things because he believed he was evil? Because he was told he was evil repeatedly throughout his life because of his fucking religiously crazy fucking parents. No, we can't blame the parents. They didn't do anything. We can't blame society. It didn't have any effect on him. He was just born that way. No, he wasn't just born that way. He was made to believe that he was evil. And what happens when you're made to believe that you're evil? You tend to be a bit evil. And you tend to not care because, you know, it's not like you can be good anyway, even if you wanted to be. But you could be. If you didn't believe that there was no way, anyway. I feel so amazing now that all my hard work has paid off. The joke is on you. What do I want to have? Take time to write down a list. What do I want to have? What do I want to do? I wish that guy would go away. What do I want to be? He's leaving now. His truck is really loud. Take a time to write down that list. What do I want to have? Money in the bank, coming in daily, a fair amount of passive income, love, kindness, and care from others, a lack of fear, and a lack of fear for all of those in my presence. My RV running great, the propane fixed, gas money, food money, kid money, weed money, clothes money, laundry money, a vacation to anywhere I want. That one would be great. I am ready for that vacation. It's time for that vacation. What do I want to do? Enjoy my life with no worries or stress, especially about love and money. So, live your life with no worries or stress about love and money. Why the fuck do we got to worry about love and money? We don't got to worry about love and money. Everything is going to come in that we need to come in, so there's no point in worrying about it. If we're doing our part, the rest of it is going to be taken care of. And when we worry about it and stress over, all we do is hurt ourselves in the process, when there was no point, because it's not going to change the outcome anyway. Take myself out. I want to go on vacation, shop, live life, enjoy everything that life has to offer. I want to explore, I want to do, I want to be, and you can do that right now. I mean, really, if you really think about it, you can get up and you can walk out and you can go do it right now if that's what you want to do. Bring love and wisdom and peace to all that are looking for it. Bring messages, signs, synchronicities clearly. See myself clearly. What do I want to be? I want to be myself. So be yourself. I want to be myself authentically, unafraid, unashamed, and open. So be that. Yeah, there's going to be people who react harshly to you. There's going to be people who don't like you, but you're never going to have everybody like you anyway, so you might as well just be you. Because you're going to be much more happy as you. A good mother, a good partner, a good friend, a good family member, loved as me. So be you. And be loved as you, and feel that love as you. And as you do that, and as you tell yourself that, and as you become that, you're really going to start to notice a lot of changes in your world that match that energy that you were putting out there. I was talking to somebody last night about how what you put out there comes back to you. If you're constantly seeking revenge on others, constantly focused on wanting pain to enter somebody's life, what do you think is going to come to your life? Pain, hardship, revenge from people who think that you need to have revenge taken on you. Or you could be praying for their health, praying for their healing, praying for them to find love within themselves and the world around them. Putting that energy out there. And what do you think is going to come back to you when you're putting that energy out there? Love, healing, feeling good, and good energy coming back at you. Never tell me my dreams cannot come true, because they can and they have. Your dreams can come true. And you have nothing to prove to anybody. I actually made a post last night on my community page because I ran across this post that was talking about Muhammad Ali and how he spent his entire life trying to prove himself to everyone. And when he went to the Olympics and he won the gold medal, he thought that people were going to treat him differently. He thought that he was going to be accepted finally. He thought that he was going to be loved finally. He thought that he was going to be seen as an equal finally. And he wasn't. They still treated him like a piece of fucking garbage. So he took that gold cup and he threw it in the river because it meant nothing now. Because the only thing he was even working for it for was to prove himself. Don't spend your entire life working to prove yourself to the ignorant pieces of shit around you. Instead, spend your life working on something that means something to you, that causes you to feel fulfilled, that causes you to feel successful, that causes you to feel good about yourself and what you're putting out there into the world. You have nothing to prove to anyone except for yourself. What is it that you want to prove to you? For myself, what I want to prove to me is that I can do it, and is that I will not give up when times get hard, but I will continue to work towards what is most important to me. What I'd like to prove to myself is that I can make a difference in this world. And that the lives that I touch are brought up from my touch and not taken down. But in order to bring them up from my touch, I have to make sure that I am giving to myself, loving myself, healing myself, and not getting stuck in a state of misery, stuck in a state of lack, stuck in a state of revenge or seeking revenge or jealousy or bitterness or hurt or anger, but that I'm allowing those things to just be released and allowing myself to release the people who have harmed me or that I've come into contact with that have not done me right with love. Sending that love their way, praying for their healing, praying for their growth, praying for their abundance. And as you put that energy out there, all of that comes back to you. So there could definitely be a lot of confusion that you've had to fight through. There could have been a lot of cycles you had to go through. There has definitely been a lot of transformations within you that have allowed you to be more colorful, bold, daring, and also allowed you to see the abstract things around you in a different way. There are so many different perspectives you can have about each situation, person, place, thing that you come into contact with. If you're not liking one perspective, see if you can see something from another perspective. If one perspective is making you feel like shit, or making you get into that energy of wishing destruction on people, or get into that energy of feeling like the victim, or getting into that energy of feeling bitter or hurt or resentful, then see if there's a different way that you can look at it that makes you feel better, that makes you get into that state of peace, joy, happiness, love, kindness, care. Reflect on yourself and the things you have going on around you. Also, artwork is a great way to have that therapy. It's also a great way to be able to see inside of the people around you as well. So when it comes to having problems with others, there's actually been a lot of times recently where I've been working with people one-on-one, and where we have sat and we have drawn. And we both sit down and we start drawing, and then we pass it back and forth so we can add to each other's. It creates a different picture. It creates a different style of art. It combines both of our techniques. It also allows you both the chance and ability to be able to see inside of each other in a different way. It creates that intimacy too. It creates something shared that you can enjoy together as well. And that's something very important, to be able to find something shared that you can enjoy together when it comes to the people around you. It's amazing the depth that you can be able to access through artwork within yourself and within others. If you're feeling extra stressed, sit down and color a picture, even just coloring a picture. And you might say, oh, I'm no good at drawing. Oh, I'm no good at painting. Anybody can do it. And it doesn't matter if you're good at it. Who cares? Nobody ever even has to see it. You don't have to be a prized artist to be able to draw a picture. And as you draw more, you'll get better at it anyway. I didn't start out as a magnificent artist with no flaws or problems and all my work is just perfect. No, I didn't start that way. The reason my paintings are as good as they are at this point is because I have been painting for 9 years. 9 years of worth of painting. Of course my paintings are looking pretty damn good. Although what's funny is the person that I like watching as a teacher most is Bob Ross. And he works in oil paints, which is extremely different from acrylic painting. And all I've done so far is acrylic painting. So the ways that he manages to make certain things, you cannot make them the same way with acrylic painting. So I've had to find my own ways to make them along the way. But that also allows you to dive into that creativity more. It allows you to expand and open things up. It allows you to be okay with things not being perfect. It allows you to be able to have that chance to find things in your own way. Picasso is coming to mind right now. Picasso, the reason his paintings look the way that they do is because he would stand in one position and he would paint parts of this picture that he's painting. And then he would move over to the other side and he would paint the next part. And then he would move over to the top and he'd look down on it and paint that next part. So his paintings have many different perspectives in them, many different vantage points, many different views in them. And they may look very confusing to other people from the outside, but he knows what's going on, and he knows what's going on because he took the time to view these objects from every perspective so that he could see these things in a different light from each different view that he took. And he wanted to make sure that everybody could see those things from all those different views, which is why he chose to paint them that way. Pretty fucking awesome, if you ask me. There's actually a lot that you can, there's a lot of documentaries and a lot of videos on YouTube that have to do with painters or artists of the past that, like, tells about their lives and the style of painting they chose, how they did those paintings, why they chose to do them that way, things like that. There's some amazing things that you can learn on YouTube. I was talking to somebody this morning about that, somebody that keeps messaging me and basically wanting me to hold their hand and walk them through everything they're doing. wanting me to give them all the answers. I can't give you all the answers anyway. But what you can do is go out and find those answers. They're all around you. I had to go out and find them. I learned most of what I have learned throughout my life by myself. I didn't have many people around when I was younger. And I spent a lot of time alone. I spent a lot of time learning things on my own. Or like when it came to crocheting, I asked my mom at one point in time to teach me how to crochet, and her answer to asking her to teach me anything pretty much was, I don't have the time, I don't have the patience, I don't have the whatever and whatever and whatever. And so she didn't have the time and patience to teach me how to crochet, but she crocheted a lot. So I would sit and watch her crochet. And as I sat and watched her crochet, I taught myself how to crochet. And I do a lot of stitches that are not considered real stitches. They're real stitches in my world. I came up with them. I now created new stitches. But the reason I was able to do that is because I learned it on my own. And I navigated it on my own. And I came up with it on my own. So sometimes you create something even better when you don't have all the answers in front of you, just because you were looking for those answers. So don't stop looking for answers, but at the same time, don't get so caught up in it that you get stuck in that rabbit hole of constantly overthinking everything. I'm going to go ahead and pull out this book and read these ones too, I think, because I am really enjoying the book's descriptions of these two. If I can find it anyway. It disappeared on me again. Okay, it fell on the floor. Just a second, guys. Ugh. Okay. So, Death, Justice, and the Hanged Man. Do-do-do, 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 do-do-do. I think they might actually be in order in the book, too. Okay. Justice with Angel. Angel, definitely a fair description of justice. Always ready to atone for his past, Angel embodies the spirit of justice. Upright. This tall, dark, and brooding vampire finds you contemplating the potential consequences and repercussions of a decision. You are seeking truth, but you are beginning to realize that there are many truths, each right in their own way. All you can do is take action that you believe in. Remember, all that matters is what you do. So you are starting to see that there are many different perspectives that people can have. Say when it comes to, okay, we're going to use killing pedophiles as a example, right? There's a lot of people that believe killing pedophiles is justice. Then there are those who believe that harming one person does not make up for the past and is not justice. Two wrongs don't make a right. There are people that believe locking somebody up and throwing away the key is justice. Then there are those who believe that the death penalty is justice. And it all depends on your perspective as well. As I've told people before, getting locked up in prison for the rest of my life, that would be the most awful, horrible, that would be fucking, that would be awful, just awful. If I got the death penalty, that would be less awful to me. Unless they made me sit there for 15 fucking years waiting for it. I would much rather them kill me in the next month or two after I got the death penalty than sitting in there for 15 years waiting for it. Although there are some people, because they are so afraid of death, they don't like death. Death is like the most awful thing in the world to them. To me, death is not the most awful thing in the world. And there are a lot of things that can be far worse than death. So depending on somebody's perspective, the punishment you're giving them may not even be that bad for them anyway, but it would be bad for you. When you're punishing yourself for something that you feel is the most awful thing in the world, somebody else might look at you and go, wait a second, what? That's the worst thing you've done? That's not even that bad. And why the hell have you spent 10 years punishing yourself over that anyway? What is wrong with you? So, there's a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different ideas, a lot of different beliefs out there, and you're becoming more open-minded and more okay with others seeing things from a different view than you. And the Hanged Man a lot of times discusses having different views, delays, stops, being held in place for a minute so you can see things from a different view. Kind of like, say, when we were talking earlier about those without sin cast the first stone. Well, and if you're casting stones at people, if you're holding on to grudges, if you're refusing to forgive, you might actually end up in that person's shoes, in the same exact position they were in. And then you're going to get to see how you would behave in that position, which isn't always the best. And the reason you ended up in that position was because you could not understand that situation or see that situation, and you needed to learn from it. So a lot of times there's this pause or this delay or this stagnation in our life so that we can really learn how to see things from a different spot. The Hanged Man, Spike. A bad poet. I didn't think he was a bad poet. A good man, and willing to give up his bloody ways if it means saving the ones that he loves. Spike as the Hanged Man is all about perspective, growth, and sacrifice. What's funny is everybody loves Angel and thinks he's such an amazingly good guy. Yet when Angel doesn't have a soul forced down his throat, he is the most evil that evil ever was. Like we've discussed before on this channel, the brighter your light shines, the darker your shadow is. Which is also another reason why people who are light workers in this world, or earth angels, or whatever you want to call yourself, need to acknowledge, notice, and believe in that dark side that they have, because it is there. The brighter you shine, the darker your shadow is. Spike, on the other hand, Spike did not have a soul. And yet, he fought for good even without that soul. And then he went and fought to have that soul. Even without a soul, he was not the greatest evil in the world. Upright, he may have lived for sodding ever, but even a vampire like Spike can see the world in a new light. What can you learn when you stop, give in to your surroundings, and relinquish the pursuit of your progress? The Hanged Man asks you to do just that, to take a pause, to take a breath. You are on the verge of self-discovery, and if you go with it, you might just find your own spark. So you are on the verge of being able to see yourself in a much different light than you have ever seen yourself in before. Which is also going to cause you to see the entire world in a different light than you have seen it before. You're going to be opening up your mind to all different kinds of ideas and understandings, different beliefs and ways of living. You're going to be much more accepting of different cultures and what they have to offer, of being able to find wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from everywhere and anywhere, instead of only from what you have been taught or from what you believe. Buddhism doesn't really have gods, but it does have a very strong belief that you can find wisdom anywhere in anything as long as you have an open mind. And as long as you are willing to learn. So, this death card, the Gentleman. Don't even cry, don't even shout. The gentlemen are coming out. Or can't even cry, can't even shout. The gentlemen are coming out. The Devil Wears a Suit and Tie is the song that just came to mind. Change is coming. But even that can be, sure, there's a lot of evil people who wear a suit and tie. There's that are dirty and unwashed and living on the side of the street that are also evil. There's a lot of good people that are living in that position, but there's a lot of good people who wear a suit and tie too. This is taking me back as well to that talk we were having earlier about it is okay to want money. It is okay to go after it. There is nothing to be ashamed of or guilty of, and there is nothing to feel evil or dirty about in creating and generating wealth for yourself. It won't do you any good to scream when faced with these agents of ick. But it will help you to learn that this card does not refer to a physical death. You can get the creeps out of your life, painful memories, outdated beliefs, toxic relationships, and you can make way for something better. You just need to find your voice. Reversed, with their ability to speak gone, Buffy and her friends were finally able to express what they were truly feeling. And after you let go of outdated beliefs, you will be able to as well. There is a metric ton of the feelings that you aren't sharing, and it's starting to give you the nasties. Give yourself permission to grow, to share what's on your mind, and trust your pals to support you. So, it's time to open up to trust. It's also time to open up to intimacy. And it's time to believe that good things can come from whatever it is that you are working on. To let go of self-judgment and judgment of the world around you. I'm going to read the reversed ones of the other two cards too. For a demon, Spike never thought very much about the nature of evil. He just threw himself in his afterlife. He threw himself in like his afterlife was a party. And right now, you could benefit from this approach. Let your wild side out, like we were talking about earlier. He didn't give a shit about good and evil. He didn't think about what was right and wrong. He just did what he felt like doing, what he wanted to do, and went where he felt like going. He was who he was, and he wasn't ashamed of it. And right now, you could benefit from his approach. Not the evil part, of course, but just jumping in. This card finds you putting off a decision, stalling, waiting for the perfect moment. But there's no perfect moment, so lace your boots up, stop procrastinating, put your leather jacket on, and dive into the fray. So after this pause that you're taking to really look at things and understand things better, don't get stuck in the energy of procrastination either. Don't get stuck in this indecision energy because now you're seeing things in a much wider range. This was not to stop you or keep you from acting or keep you from being who you are. It was to help you be more okay with being who you are and not being upset about it. So the reverse of the justice. Perhaps you've been a little bit more angelus than angel lately, and your conscience is starting to get the better of you. You cannot hide the proverbial bodies forever, so it's time to own your sins, to make amends, and to vow to do better. So there were some things that I have done this winter where some of my moderation fell away, where a little bit of my procrastination took over, and where I may have been overindulging in certain things. Certain things that I might have been a little bit judgmental of in the past. But I had to visit those things so that I could understand them. Kind of like when I was younger, I used to tell people all the time, you can't judge something if you haven't experienced it. So when it came to, like, say, all the drugs that are out there, didn't judge them because you can't judge them till you experience them yourself. And at the same time, sometimes over the years, you build up those judgments, especially with a lot of people around you, to increase those judgments in whatever way. Whatever you've been going through was so that you could learn how to release that judgment of self and others. So that you could really see things from a new perspective and understand that we are all human and nobody is above anybody else. So you could lose the self-righteous attitude and the martyr energy, and also so that you could accept and see your shadow side, so that you don't hate others' shadow sides so much, and also so you aren't hating yourself in some ways or holding yourself back in ways like the hangman was talking about, and not holding yourself back from being who you are out of fear of being something evil or something wrong. Don't worry so much about having to be right. I don't like the way that you see and treat me when I give in too easily. Sad but true. Boundaries are needed and they are healthy. So there could have been areas where you did not have very good boundaries. There could have been areas where you gave in to people too easily, where you were too freely giving with others. And you're learning how to balance that out, how to pull back a bit, how to still be giving and loving and caring while at the same time opening yourself up to receiving from others and opening yourself up to having moments where you're neither giving or receiving and you're just able to be with yourself and enjoy your time. How we show others to treat us is what matters. Some will always treat you good, but it's different for everyone. And some are too good at being everything for everyone that they end up losing themselves. People are opportunists. Every one of us. Every one of us are opportunists. When you tell people, hey, I got a doormat out there that you can wipe your muddy shoes on, they're going to go wipe their muddy shoes on your doormat. And so later on, when you got to wash that doormat off and you're bitching about the mud that's all over it, remember that you put that doormat there so that people could wipe their shoes on it. So you are the reason that you're now scrubbing mud off of your doormat. It's the same thing when it comes to, say, you tell people you can come over anytime. You don't got to call first. You don't got to message first. Just show up. So when they're showing up constantly when you're busy, when you got something else going on, when you aren't really wanting anybody around, you're the one who told them to come over anytime they want. So now you have to have the conversation of, okay, can you please message me or call me before you come over? Can we make some plans ahead of time? Because I got a busy life and I got things going on that I have to take care of too. And so I can't just have people showing up all the time like that. Or you got to be okay with opening the door and telling them, hey, I'm busy right now, come back later. And if they're upset that, they came all the way over here and now you're busy, well, you could have called first. You could have messaged first. And I realized I said you didn't need to, but that didn't mean that I wasn't going to be busy if you did just show up. It's kind of like that. Oracle, wait for important information. So right now, there is a pause going on with certain things in your life. You are being asked not to take action on certain situations or subjects that are going on. And this is because there's going to be important information that's going to be coming out or that's going to be being seen in the near future. And it's going to cause you to see things in a different way. So the actions you take and the decisions you make are going to be very affected by the way you're looking at things. And there is something else you need to know before you make these decisions. Moon, take note of the intuitive messages. And sometimes taking that pause, taking that break, taking that breath for a minute, taking our energy away from others for a minute so that we can just really be in our own energy, feeling our own feelings and things like that, allows us to get more in contact with our intuition. It allows us to really be able to see things in a different way, feel things in a different way, do things in a different way. It allows us to remember who we are, what we want, where we're going, and what's best for us, and not just what's best for everyone around us. The Knight of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the Three of Wands. So, the days of acting impulsively, of being hot and cold, of being in and out, of not really knowing what you want because of the energy of others pulling on you and confusing you and causing you to question whether or not what you want is right or whether or not what you want is something that other people would consider wrong, or, allowing all of that to affect the decisions you make in your life, the actions you take, allowing it to affect what you're passionate about. allowing it to affect your creativity, your inspiration, how you choose to express yourself. You're letting go of all that. You're leaving it all behind because you're realizing that that's what's causing the most conflict, the most drama, the most chaos in your life. You're leaving it behind and you're choosing to believe that what you want is possible. You put in a lot of time, effort, energy into manifesting the life of your desires. And if you haven't in the past, that's because you were confused about what you wanted, where you should go, what you should do. And a lot of that boils down to the energies around you, interacting with your energy. So you're going to be deciding what it is that you want, what your dreams are, where you want to go, what you want to do, what makes you happiest, what makes you most passionate, what makes you feel the most alive. What's the point of living if you're not living, right? What's the point of being alive if you're not living your life? If you're not enjoying your life, if you're not inspired by your life, motivated by your life, driven by your life, if you're not feeling good about the things you're doing, there's no point. So now you are really learning how to put your efforts, energy, time, and everything else towards what it is that you truly want to build in your life, and believing that it's going to come into you because of those efforts. So we're going to get one more message to close this out, and then we're going to be done for today. And once again, if anybody wants to be able to donate for the messages today in the healing session, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. Truly appreciate that. Or whatever other ways that you can support this channel that you choose to, whether it be through liking, commenting, sharing, or subscribing. And even the people who support my other channel, StoryTime, where you can find all the poetry used in today's reading. And you can find a link for that in my description box below. Really appreciate those who go over there and like, comment, share, and subscribe over there as well. I'm going to be adding some new stuff to it this week too. Taking some time out to make sure that I work on that channel a bit this week too. So don't forget to go check it out over there and see what's new. It's crazy how quick life goes sometimes. I know that you expected me to be around longer and are still accepting what this means. Know that I'm here still, just in a different way. I live in you. Make my memory mean something and live your life. You are there still for a reason. Don't give it up. Put it to good use. I'm going to set this right here because I want to keep that out for my friend for later. So, if you have lost people that you love, whether it be through death or whether it be through transformations in your life or transformations in their life where you guys have just fallen out of each other's lives, whether it be through moving. Some of you could be contemplating moving and you're worried about walking away from the people that you love and the distance that will be created and losing that connection. Know that you will gain other connections and know that that person will be with you as you are on your journey. Everything that you've shared together has made you who you are as a person. And those are all still parts of yourself, even when that person isn't nearby. So, this is a poem that I wrote when I was 15. Guys are all the same, or is it just me? Am I insane? Or can you see? Do you believe or do you just receive? Because a lot of girls just take the words and never learn all the facts. Mostly they stand up for all the acts. Mostly they just get dumped in the trash and incinerated into ash. Not even a call, so how can you stand tall? They say you're still friends, but is that how it ends? So, endings and situations a lot of times do not end the way that we want them to end. A lot of times distance grows. The time and space between you grows. The hurt and pain can cause that distance too. There's a lot of different things that can cause that distance. Don't feel like you've been thrown in the trash. Don't feel like you're unworthy. Don't feel like it's going to be the same in every situation that you come into contact with. Stand tall and know that everything that you've been through was part of your journey for a reason. And that everything that was meant to end has ended when it was meant to. There's a reason for it. There's a purpose in it. Don't allow that purpose to be drowned out by staying stuck on that situation Instead of allowing that transformation to take place in your life and letting go of what was before in favor of what's coming in next. Whoever is there, what do you have to say to me? Fun, friendship, fears of lies, and third party. Someone was fighting for themselves, but it was a hollow victory. Having fun will ease your fears enough to listen to your intuition. Allow people in to help. You will feel better. Love yourself completely. Follow your intuition forward. You have the communication skills to leave this fight behind and to bring peace. Automatic writing is something that may help you guys as well. Just writing that down. Whoever's there, whatever's inside of me, what are you wanting to say to me? What messages do I need to hear at this time? And then just letting yourself write down whatever it is that you're feeling in that moment. Share what you have to say with others. No longer be defensive. Share your knowledge with your kids. Say you're sorry to them, that you didn't want her to go, or you didn't want them to go through what you had to go through. But if she wants to learn about what you believe in still, you can teach them. It's their choice. So leave that choice to others. Don't try to control them or overstep them or push them or make them be what you want them to be, but allow them to be what they are and allow them to come to you if they need to, while releasing them to live their own life. Your abundance is coming. Your struggle will end. You can see the lies. Know this. You can also see the truth. People are coming to you. Donations are coming in. Clients are coming in. Clarity is coming as well. You are amazing. Others see this. Some are jealous, but others will want to learn and know that they need to. Your gifts will spread far and wide. Have already in some ways. Recognition is coming in and will speed up. Be ready for it. And then you will be on top. Be humble, be kind, and caring in your leadership role. Always be humble and kind. Country song. You have seen others take advantage of their positions of power. Remember not to follow that path. Instead, be a kind and generous leader. Show them how to lead. Show them what it means to be a good leader and to make the best decisions for everyone. And show them also that just because you're making the best decisions for everyone doesn't mean that you aren't hurting some people. Because some people are going to be hurt in those decisions. It's kind of like a CEO of a company. The biggest reason why sociopaths and psychopaths end up making up the majority of the political leaders or of the business CEOs or things like that is because they're meant to be here too. They have a purpose too. In order to make a decision in a company that is going to put 5,000 people out of a job and possibly living on the streets with their families, in order to make that decision, which could actually be benefiting something else in a big way, on the other side of the coin, you have to be able to detach your emotions from it. So people who have much more detached emotions are the ones who are able to make those decisions in those situations. That's also why it's so important as a spiritual leader to be able to learn how to detach yourself while still being connected. Because if you're attached to every single thing that happens and carrying every single burden around on your back, you're not going to be able to be much of a spiritual leader. You are breaking cycles from the past through to future generations. Long festering karma and karmic wounds. It is time to let go. Be true to you. Allow yourself to shine bright. Leave behind what you were taught in favor of the new things that you have learned. Talking points may help you in some sort of way. Write a sentence and see what follows. Like I was saying before, that automatic writing is going to be very beneficial for you at this time. It's going to help you to be able to come up with new thoughts, new ideas, new understandings, and it's really going to help you to be able to dive inside yourself and see what's coming up and what's coming out. To be able to face a lot of things that maybe you aren't able to face when you're looking at them head on. It's time to really explore, to stop thinking that curiosity is a bad thing. Everybody's like, oh, curiosity killed the cat all the time. Be careful what you're doing. You know, you may get hurt doing this and all kinds of other stuff. If curiosity killed the cat, it killed me first, because you know what? I'm an extremely curious person. I love to go into new places. I love to do new things. I love to explore abandoned, creepy old buildings that are half underground, things like that. And you know what? There's some amazing things that you end up running into because of that, or things that you end up learning that other people don't, or things that you end up achieving where others do not achieve those things because of those risks that you take. And actually, they say that curiosity kills the cat, but they also say satisfaction brought it back. Satisfying those curiosities helps you to feel more alive. It gives you a purpose and a reason for living too. A lot of times it can also fuel your adrenaline in some sort of way as well. Give you some more dopamine running through your system. It sometimes leads to bad things, but just as often it can lead to good ones too. And almost everything has both bad and good. It has both pros and cons. Take calculated risks. Be discerning but not fearful. Let that fear give rise to faith and courage instead. Now is the time for commitment tests. Only the strongest will make it through. You can do this, believe it, and make it so. So, you're being tested on your commitment. On your commitment to living a life that makes you happy. On your commitment to pursuing things that inspire you, that make you feel alive, that make you feel good. Are you going to let fear get in the way, or are you going to pursue what it is that you want to pursue? Fear. You can either fear everything and run, or you can face everything and rise. Now's the time to choose to face everything and rise. To face your inner being, to face the world around you, to see it for what it really is, and to still continue to fight for this world, even though this world is not the perfect paradise, but it is a imperfect world filled with darkness, hurt, pain, shadow, loss, fucking evil. It also has good, amazing, beauty, love, light, happiness, joy, expansion. All of those things combined to make this world. And if it wasn't for all of those things, this world wouldn't be a very great place. If this world was all evil, oh, it would be much worse than it is now, trust me. It would literally be hell. If this world was all good, sure, some people might think it would be heaven. But it would be a boring ball of light. You wouldn't even... If there was no shadow, it would just be a blinding light. A light that you wouldn't even be able to see. And you sure as hell wouldn't like it any more than you like it now. Any more than you would like the all darkness all the time. Okay, so... we have the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles in this deck takes place during the musical episode of Buffy, where he's singing, "I'm standing in your way." Wish I could play the father and take you by the hand. Wish I could stay your stalwart, standing fast, but I'm standing in the way. So you may have had some people who have walked away from you as well, who have decided to push the bird out of the nest because they know that you're not going to fly unless they do. You could have been procrastinating. You could have been holding back. You could have been not taking action on things that were good for you in your life. And people decided that if they were there the whole time, you wouldn't do it. So there could definitely be people who have moved away from you out of love in order to give you the freedom to see what you're made of. Upright. Even when she's at the top of her sleigh game, Buffy still trains. Her calling is one of mastery, of precision, and always seeing what she can perfect. The Eight of Pentacles invites you to assess your own skills. Where would you like to spend more of your time? What could you level up? Take this card as an assurance that whatever energy, time, and focus that you devote to yourself will be a wise investment. So, people a lot of times don't want to take that time and energy to themselves. They don't want to pull away from the world. They don't want to focus on only them. They feel like it's selfish, or they feel like everything's going to fall apart without them, or they feel like, there isn't the time for that. But trust me, there is. And the more time, energy, and effort you dedicate towards mastering what it is that you're working on, towards working on your goals, towards increasing your skills or your abilities, that is how much stronger those skills and abilities are going to be. That is how much better your life is going to be at the end of the day. So the Nine of Pentacles, which is Anya in the magic shop on Halloween, you are closing out the cash register and doing a little dance of capitalist superiority. Now it is time to treat yourself to something that you have been longing for. The Nine of Pentacles bodes well for travel, investments, and little luxuries to remind you why you work so hard. You have worked your fucking ass off, and you deserve to give something to you. You deserve to have something. You deserve to hold something. You deserve the ability to be able to do for you, and a lack of guilt in doing so. This will also increase your abilities. It will increase your abundance. It will increase how you're feeling and raise your vibrations. If there is anything that you're taking care of in this world and you're worried about, oh, I can't focus on this because I have this to take care of, the more you focus on this, the better you'll be able to take care of everything around you too. And the more you'll show others around you how to take care of themselves too, and how to stand strong on their path. Don't neglect planning for your future. This card is one of independence, encouraging you to take care of yourself in the long and the short term. So take care of yourself, love yourself, provide for yourself, put into you. In the same way that you put into everyone else and everything else in this world, put into you a little bit. And that is going to increase your value in the long run. The Ten of Pentacles with Dracula over here. The Ten of Pentacles finds you winning the game of life. And no, you can't trade the children for more cash. You are heavy on the abundance, low on the strife, and wanting for nothing. Isn't it great? Now that you have made it, it is a perfect time to examine how you can give it back. You may not have been able to give for a very long time in a monetary way. You may have been giving in a lot of other ways. You may not have the time, energy, or effort to be able to give in those ways now. So now you might be giving in more of a monetary way. You may be able to make the impacts on the world that you have always wanted to be able to make. But you may have had to sacrifice some of the impacts that you were making in other ways. Hi, beautiful. Nice to see you today. Now that you've made it, it's a perfect time to examine how you can give it back. How can you care for your Scoobies in the Scooby Gang? What can you do to make sure that everyone around you has enough? Sharing is caring, after all. Sharing is caring. Loving and taking care of those that are around us is something beautiful. There's been somebody in particular that I've helped out a fair amount recently, and they're constantly, no, but why? But I will get you back. No, you won't. You don't have the ability to get me back. Don't even say it. Just accept it, take it, and be okay with it. Start to shift and change your view on the world around you, because the world around you isn't just evil. There's a lot of good in it too. And there have been little lights that have came along that have shown me that. And right now I have the ability to be able to show you that. Right now I have just a bit extra. And so I want to be able to give to you too. And this is a person that gives what they have to give. What they have to give may not be exactly the same thing as what I have to give, but that doesn't make it any less valuable. And vice versa, whichever side of it you're on. Whether you're the one who has the money or whether you're the one who has the time and energy, both of those are amazingly valuable. And both of those deserve to have somebody giving back to you in return for them receiving from you. At least if they're going to be a closer part of your circle anyway. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Although I'm sure there is times that you've talked to your mother or your father where you've said something that cut them extremely deeply as well. I know there has been for me. My daughters have fucking shredded me the last few years in a lot of ways. But then again, for the last few years, I'm sure I've shredded my mom in a lot of ways too. A lot of times we end up hurting the people that we love. And it's not like we go out there intending to hurt the people that we love. But it happens anyway. Especially when we're speaking our truth. Tough love is love too, right? Being able to express ourselves is extremely important. And it's not always pretty. It's not always nice. It's not always kind. It's not always polite. It's not always respectful. But it is our truth. And she may not be seeing things from your perspective. She may be seeing things from a completely different perspective. She may even be seeing things from a very warped view at this point in time. But maybe there are things that she's working through. So I really hope that it didn't hurt you too much. And remember that you don't need the validation of others. You have done the best that you can with the tools that you have at your disposal, just like your parents did. And the more you're able to forgive your parents, the more you'll be able to forgive yourself. And the more you'll be able to accept what your daughter has to say and how she feels without feeling like it hurts you so badly. You're welcome, love. Mirror Guardian, take the time to reflect. Autumn, release the old and rest. So right now, there is definitely a need for being able to rest, to reflect on things, to really allow yourself that time and energy you need to work on you, to work on your reflection in the mirror too, and how you see yourself, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about people who have money or people who don't have money, what judgments there could be surrounding those things. And also to remember that this time that you're dedicating to yourself and to improving your skills, your abilities, your beliefs, to really looking inside yourself and taking care of you, you will have what you need. It will be provided for you. The energy, the effort, the love, the kindness, the care, the compassion, the beautiful things that you have put out there will be given back to you. A lot of people will remember the good that you've done for them and will bring good into you as well. And even if they don't, the universe knows what you have done, and it will bring that back to you. It will provide you the ability to be able to go after your dreams with support. Just like you have given others the ability to go after their dreams with support. 77, 77, and 88, 88. Definitely, this work that you're putting in right now is very divinely guided and inspired. Through your persistence, your faith, your patience, your dedication, the seeds that you are planting at this time are going to sprout and grow, and the hard work that you have put in will build something amazing for you. So that's what I have for today's reading, you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and got something from it. Would love to hear from you guys on what you thought about it. And if you guys did enjoy it, remember to support my channel in whatever ways you're able to, whether that be through liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, leaving timestamps on my other readings, donations, checking out my other channel and doing the same thing, or purchasing services. All those things really do help me out, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you that supports me in whatever ways you guys do. You guys make what I'm doing possible. So thank you for that, and I really hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys.